Hey everybody, Jay Widener here, and we are reading again from the book A Monument to the End of Time, written with the late great Vincent Bridges. Today our chapter is The Sphere of Gnosis, Light Upon Light. This one's going to have a lot of show and tell. There's a lot of pictures for you to understand what I'm going to be talking about because it's a little bit complicated. Here we go. This is Chapter 6, Section 3, Sphere of Gnosis, Light Upon Light. It would take another work this size to examine in depth Fulcanelli's use of the Tree of Life as a teaching pattern for the principles of astroalchemy. But we would be remiss if we did not allow the reader to experience some of the wisdom and profundity of Fulcanelli's approach. Therefore, since we have been following the Gnostic fingerprints of the mystery, let us turn to Fulcanelli's most direct Gnostic symbol, the enigmatic credence of Lallemant Mansion in Bourges. Bourges is in central France. The Tree of Life, in its mystical usage as part of the path of return, contains an extra sephiroth, dot, knowledge, or gnosis, in the space between the first and second group of the three sephiroth. This locality is a human or sentient artifact which exists in the framework to allow consciousness access to the supernatural or divine content of the upper three spheres. Fulcanelli's first and basic delineation of the tree, chapters 1 through 9 of section 1, follow the lightning path of creation and jumps from Bina, the chapter on the language of the birds, to Hesed, the importance of the cross, without a mention of dot. But in his subsequent elaboration on the tree, he includes three specific images attributed to the hidden Sephiroth of dot. The first is image 26, the planetary metals. And that would be here. This one. This is in Notre Dame. It's the 7 planetary metals. The planetary metals, which represents the process of transformation. The second is 33, the wheel of fire. Again, this is from Notre Dame. This one, the man with the wheel of fire. It's the alchemist. The third is, of course, the enigmatic credence, number 46, whose symbology sums up the entire great work. It kind of be hard to see on this one, but I'm going to show it to you again. This is the credence at Lallemant Mansion in Bourges. I've been there several times. It's very difficult to photograph that thing too, by the way. I have no idea why. Okay. Each of these symbols define one layer of gnosis at the core of the alchemical mystery. Fulcanelli has provided us with the exact fingerprint of the astro-alchemical meme in his depiction of the gnosis of the Duat Sephiroth. The master symbol is the credence at Lallemant Mansion, one I just showed you, image number 46 from Mystery of the Cathedrals. As we examine it in more detail, keep in mind that it played an important role in the mysterious book on mysticism and the Kabbalah, The Architecture of Nature, published in 1943 in Paris. Before the publication of the second edition and the revelations of the Hinde chapter, this symbol and its explication formed the core of Fulcanelli's message. Its significance is therefore profound. An architectural credence is a false window or door. This immediately suggests the Egyptian false door used in tombs and the Islamic mithrab or prayer niche. In Egyptian architecture, the false door allows the Ka, or the spirit double that lies within all of us, access to the Ka statue, the body's immortal form, hidden in a chamber behind the door. This is the doorway to the Duat, or the astral realm of the light beings. The spirit, or light within us, lives in this realm after the death of the body. This echoes the Gnostic spark of light, trying to find its way back to the great central light of the universe. In Islam, the mithrab is the prayer doorway to Mecca and the inner mysteries of Muhammad's revelation. In many Sufi sects, the mithrab has a geometric pattern of the Tree of Life without Malkuth. Malkuth is the sphere at the bottom of the tree of life, represents the earth. Inscribed in its niche, this is usually coupled with the light verse mentioned before from the Quran, Surah 24, verse 35. To the Sufis, this verse exemplifies the very idea of illumination. Indra Shah called the verse, quote, the essence of Sufism, unquote, and goes on to suggest that it, quote, conceals the nature of the cognition of the extra dimensions of the human consciousness, which comes beyond the intellect, unquote. The Mithrab in Lallemant Mansion combines Islamic concepts with the even deeper meaning of a door to the Dawat from Egyptian cosmology. It has 3 layers, as does the Egyptian false door. On the inner surface of the niche is a letter rebus that, as we shall see, distills the essence of the light verse from the Quran. We are reminded of the Abbot Shugar's verse, bright is the noble work. This work shining nobly enlightens the mind so that it may travel through the true lights, through the true light, where Christ is the true door, unquote. In the niche of the architectural credence at Lallemant are the letters R-E-R-E on one line, followed by the letters R-E-R on the next. This is repeated twice more for a total of 6 lines, hence doubling or crossing 2 times 3 equals 6. And it looks like this. So this is just the same, that niche I just showed you, printed out. R-E-R-E-R-E-R, R-E-R-E-R-E-R. So that's that niche at Lallemant Mansion. Fulcanelli slyly suggests that we break the pattern down into R-E, R-E-R, R-E-R-E in order to understand its hidden meaning. This is the kind of binary triplet patterning is found in the Mayan calendar, in the I Ching, and in our RNA DNA codes. R-E-R-E, note the pattern is 2 forward, R-E-R-E-R, then 1 backwards, E-R, then 2 forward, R-E, R-E-R, and so on. So then we break it down into this pattern here. He also suggests that we look at the pattern as a rebus or word picture. In Hebrew, the letter R or resh was considered the pictogram of the face and was attributed to the sun. This suggests Horus or the elder sun god, whose Egyptian name Hru is the same word as face. The letter E in its aspirated consonant form is he in Hebrew, or the window. R-E then suggests, quote, the light of the face of the sun, unquote, shining through a window. It is also Ra, the Egyptian sun god of Heliopolis. Given this, then, it follows that one possible meaning of this section of image 46 is the light shines in. Following the same rebus pattern, RER becomes the light shining in and generating more light inside. This internal light is the double of the light of the face of the sun. It is the light of the sun of the sun. That is the transmutational illumination that is inside of each of us, the spark of the Gnostics. Continuing the idea, RERE is the generated internal light shining out again on the world. This reversal expressed in the pattern calls attention to the outward projection. Thus, the 2 words RERE and RER can be read as 1, light shining in, light shining out, and 2, light shining in stimulates internal light, RER. This all sounds fairly mystical, but what does it actually mean? The repetitions of the word suggest a sequence, such as a hexagram of the I Ching. If we take the RER to be a yin line and the RERE to be a yang line, then the credence gives us the 64th hexagram of the I Ching before completion. It is interesting to note that the 46th image points to the 64th hexagram in the I Ching. One has to wonder if the 2 numbers are reversed on purpose. The 64th hexagram of the I Ching is composed of 2 trigrams, Li, flame or light, and Ka'an, water or the abyss. Therefore, we have the image of fire over water, the conditions before transition, as the sages described it in the text on the hexagram. This image suggests the silver star of the wise, rising from the depths of space to signal the completion of the great work, and the symbol of both the prima materia and the completed process. This hexagram can also be formed from the pattern of taking the R as yang and the E as yin. In this way, we have number 64 hexagrams. This emphasis is important because it draws our attention to the one hexagram in the I Ching that reads like the emerald tablet of Hermes Trismegistus, ancient Egyptian statement of the alchemical tradition. The 64th hexagram is also, in many ways, the origin point of Chinese alchemy. Perhaps this just might be a coincidence. Before I go on here, I'll show you. This is there's the pattern. There's the RER. Then there's the 64th hexagram. And this is the Tzolk'in from the Mayan calendar, which I'm going to get to in a second. Perhaps this just might be a coincidence. However, if we translate each pair of letters that is in each combination of R/E as one of the 4 amino acids of tRNA, we have the genetic sequence of code for building DNA, the very alchemy of life. Another coincidence? Either way, the phrase before completion takes on even greater meaning. The Mayan Tzolk'in, which I just showed you, which according to researcher John Major Jenkins, the late John Major Jenkins, he was a really good friend of mine, I really miss him, relates planetary movement and the sunspot cycles to the genetic code and the fabric of time, uses hexagram number 64 of the I Ching as the very model of the Tzolk'in pattern itself. How can all of these spiritual systems have the same patterns existing in traditions as varied and distant as the Maya from Mexico and the authors of the I Ching in China? And how did Fulcanelli know about them? Was it possible that he understood all of these traditions, or was the knowledge he possessed more universal than our modern minds can possibly imagine? Or is there really a very sophisticated mean for transformation and gnosis that runs through all religions and spiritual traditions? Is this tradition holding the knowledge of our past for a release sometime in the future? The Sufis certainly seem to be aware of this same pattern. In fact, the pattern is most clearly recognized in the light surah of the Quran. Surah 24, verse 35 reads, this is Egyptianized from the Egyptian, Ra is the light of the heavens and the earth, a light which is like unto a lamp within a niche. The lamp shines within a crystal like a blazing star, lit from the tree of life, the jed, of neither east nor west. It's fueled, translucent oil, radiating without the effects of fire, light upon light. The pattern in image number 46 and the light verse parallel each other like this. So the first sentence will be from the light verse and then our interpretation. Ra is the light of the heavens and the earth. RE is the first line. Light shines through everything. A light which is like unto a lamp within a niche. RER is the second line. The lighting of the inner lamp, the light within our souls, the light within the niche. The light shines through within a crystal like a blazing star. ERRE is the third line. The inner light blazes out like a star or a light body. Then just repeat the pattern for the second 3. Lit from the tree of life, the jed, of neither east nor west. RER is the fourth line. The miraculous light of the jed, which is the galactic center axis, the third pillar of the dragon axis. It's fuel, translucent oil, radiating without the effects of fire. ERRE, light, is the fifth line. The oil of the inner light radiating without the effect of fire. This is the inner light that creates the translucent light body. It's our serotonin and melatonin. And then finally, light upon light. RER is the sixth line, light upon light, the ultimate Gnostic ideal for the perfection of the universe. All will be one with the light. The last ER begins the pattern once again in reverse order. This creates an endless interweaving of meaning. RE, RER, RER, RE, etc. This sums it up. This pattern repeats the same information over and over. It seemed to be saying that somehow the unfoldment of light and the creation of light upon light is of paramount importance. The ultimate secret of alchemy, the secret of how to create light and inhale it until the alchemist becomes pure light or gold. And before I go on, I'll show you, this is the light surah in a mosque, on the roof of a mosque in Constantinople. And this is just a pattern from a stained glass window at Notre Dame, showing you the Icasa dodeca interweaving pattern. So let's recast our verse from the Quran into the new pattern that we have discovered, and let's see what it says. Light upon light, the inner lamp is lit. Light upon light, fueled by the translucent oil of brain chemistry. Serotonin, melatonin. Light upon light, the light of the galactic center shines through us all. From this, we can see the outlines of our triple transformation discovered in the Isis the Prophetess fragment. This view of the Sephiroth dot knowledge suggests that the alchemical Gnosis is a unitary 3-in-1 experience of evolution, one designed to give us the opportunity to become one with the light. Part of that Gnosis is an awareness of the local planetary galactic geometry and its effect on the quality of time. And indeed, this is why Isis, in our favorite alchemical fragment, is called the prophetess. The successful incubation of the astro-alchemy mean produces, as we saw in the case of Abraham, the ability to peer through the window of time. Fulcanelli is also suggesting that this 46th image represents a level of initiation. In the occult and hermetic societies, he mentions in Mystery of the Cathedral, the grades and rituals were based on the Sephiroth and the paths of the Tree of Life. A 33rd degree Master Freemason, for instance, is someone who has completed the Tree of Life within himself. He would then be eligible for the higher or esoteric degrees, of which there are usually 13, becoming finally a master of the temple with a 46th degree grade. Fulcanelli is telling us that the origin of the entire Rosicrucian grade structure may have come from the humble oratory in Lallemant Mansion. So there's 10 Sephirah and 22 paths in the Tree of Life, and so that adds up to 32. And then Dot, which is the secret Sephirah, is the 33rd. So when you're a 33rd degree Freemason, you've achieved Dot, and now you're free to go to the higher levels, which is the next 13. And your highest level in Freemasonry and secret Freemasonry is level 46. And if you go to King James Version of the Bible and you go to Psalm 46 and you count 46, no, don't forget, Francis Bacon was probably the translator of the King James Bible, or at least headed the translations. So if you go to the Psalm 46 in the King James Bible, and you count 46 words from the top of the psalm, you'll get the word shake. And if you count 46 words from the bottom of the psalm, you'll get spear. And so basically, Francis Bacon is telling you that that he was Shakespeare, of course, and he was, or at least he headed a group of people that were giving out the Shakespeare plays. And so we see that the 46 is a lot more important, and there's a lot of DNA, RNA stuff that has to do with 46, and I could get into it, but I'm not going to. But the strange correlation between, the DNA and the I Ching and the Mayan Tzolk'in, and the number systems are all kind of the same. And it shows that our ancestors had a very deep knowledge, and that this knowledge wasn't discovered disparately by different groups. It was a universal knowledge that broke up into disparate groups after the catastrophe 12,000 years ago. All right, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. I'm Jay Widener, or I'm at least the guy that is known as Jay Widener. And hit like and subscribe, and we'll be back next week with another chapter. Thank you so much for watching, and I really appreciate you guys. And come back again.